Hello, this is Ashley. I have a story to share about my life, and I thought this would be the right place to tell it. It's about my mother, Tammy, my brother, Jaden, and I grew up in a middle-class household. Our dad left when we were young, and we don't remember much about him. From what we know, he gave up his rights to us and left us with our mom. Some people told me later that it was my mom who drove him away. To be honest, I understand now. My mom is a toxic and abusive person. Growing up, my mom put Jaden and me through a lot of abuse. She was very controlling and abused us both mentally and physically when we didn't listen to her. We were very isolated because she didn't want anyone to interfere with her parenting or teach us about abuse. For a long time, I thought my mom's behavior was normal. I didn't have any friends to tell me otherwise. It was my husband, Elias, who opened my eyes. We met at a friend's party and started dating soon after. We recently got married, but this story happened right before our wedding. After I moved in with Elias, he'd encouraged me to go to therapy to deal with my mental trauma. He helped me realize that my mom's behavior was not normal. He often asked me to limit contact with her, but I was scared to do it because of how she raised me. If I had cut her off, I could have avoided a lot of drama. Now on to the story. When Elias and I got engaged, my mom wasn't happy. She saw Elias as a threat to her control over me, but she was excited to plan the wedding. I thought it would help us repair our bond, but I was wrong. One day, she came to my house and said, "You need to get off your butt and plan the wedding with me. I know you have horrible taste, so I'm here to help you. First, you need to expand your budget because my vision for you needs a lot more money." Mom, I can't do that. I only work part-time and can't spare a lot of money for the wedding. We're happy with what we have right now. That's ridiculous. I'm telling you it's not enough. Ask your rich husband to give you more money. Mom, I don't want him to spend too much money. We agreed on splitting things evenly. You don't have to worry about wedding planning. I'm handling everything and considering Elias's opinions as well. Oh please, Ashley, you know nothing about wedding planning. You will do exactly what I say, or there is no use having a wedding. And stop consulting Elias about everything. He's a man and shouldn't have an opinion. He works too much and doesn't have time for this anyway. Even if he is the groom, his opinions matter, Mom. You can't just dismiss them. We're doing fine and don't need your help. I wasn't asking you, Ashley. I'm telling you I will plan everything. You should know better than to ignore me. I hope you still remember what happens when you don't listen to me. I didn't appreciate the way my mom talked to me. I also didn't like how she wanted to take over my wedding plans. It was bizarre but not surprising given how controlling she was. But this time, I wasn't going to let her do it. I ignored my mom's words and didn't consult her at all. She kept sending me suggestions and demanding to be included in the wedding planning. But I ignored her and made my own decisions. I also repeatedly told her to back off and not interfere. After some time, she stopped bothering me. I thought everything was fine and maybe she had realized she was being too controlling. That was just wishful thinking on my part. My mom was only getting started. About 2 months before the wedding, I discovered something awful. I called the venue to confirm some changes and was told that I had canceled the date. I was in complete shock because I hadn't done that. I immediately called all my vendors to see if something had happened with them as well. To my horror, everything I had booked had been canceled. The venue, the flowers, the cake, the music, and even the catering. All my hard work and money went down the drain, as the deposits were non-refundable. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that someone called them from my phone to cancel everything. It felt surreal. When I found out that every vendor had been canceled and rebooked by other people, I broke down in tears. I was still a sobbing mess when my husband walked through the door. He took one look at me and became very concerned. I wasn't calm enough to explain, so he comforted me first. I tearfully told him everything, and his expression changed from concern to anger. He said, "This has to be someone who targeted you personally and had access to your phone. It has to be someone close to you. Why would anyone betray me like that, Elias? What have I ever done to deserve this? It's only 2 months until our wedding. What will we do now? I don't even have much money left." "We can worry about the wedding later, Ashley. First, we need to find out who did this and why. Do you have any suspicions?" "No, Elias. I don't know who would even do this to me. This is just pure evil. It hurts to know that someone I trust did this." "Don't worry. We will find out who did this and make sure they face the consequences. You need to call someone who can comfort you right now. Maybe calling your brother will help. You really need some support at this moment. Elias was right. I needed a good support system, and my brother was one of the best choices. I considered calling my maid of honor, but I knew she was busy working the night shift that day. So I called my brother and told him everything. He was concerned for me because I was still a crying mess. He sounded genuinely mad, and then said something that rocked my world. Oh God, I really didn't think she would go through with this horrible plan. I should have known my warnings wouldn't be enough. Jaden, what are you talking about? Do you know who might have done this? Yes, Ashley, I know who did this. It was Mom. No wonder she seemed to be in such a good mood when I spoke to her yesterday. Mom did this to me? But how are you so sure? How did you know? This is not making any sense. Mom told me about her plan a month ago. I don't think she meant to tell me, but she must have let it slip by mistake. I warned her and yelled at her not to do this. She agreed with me in the end, but I see now that she was lying. My mind was spinning with this information. It killed me inside to know that my mom did this. Then, I suddenly remembered that I was out for lunch with my mom on the day everything was canceled. That was the date my vendors told me about. I hadn't realized this earlier because the news of the cancellations was too much to handle. Now that the first wave of sadness had subsided, I started to connect the dots. I said, oh God, yes, I do remember. I went out with Mom for lunch the day everything was canceled. I hadn't realized this sooner. Jaden, why didn't you tell me what Mom was planning? I'm so sorry, Ashley. You're already under a lot of stress from the wedding planning, and Mom wasn't making things any better. I thought I could handle her myself and not give you another thing to worry about. I should have told you sooner. I'm so sorry. Oh, Jaden, it's okay. I know you tried your best to protect me from Mom. I know how much you care about me. This is not your fault. You did what you could. But Ashley, what will happen to the wedding now? You said everything has already been rebooked by other people. What will you do now? I could help you out with a little money. I do have some savings you can use. It broke my heart when Jaden said that. My brother cared so much about me, while my mom felt nothing for me. I was still finding it hard to believe that she had done this. I had been conditioned not to question my mom's decisions, and my past trauma made me have doubts. I somehow wanted to believe that my mom didn't do this. Before I could reply, Elias said, Jaden, you don't have to worry about this. We've got this. Thanks for offering. You really are Ashley's true family, and soon you'll be mine as well. I feel really bad for being so stupid. I'm sorry, Elias. I hope you guys come up with something. I'll help as much as I can. I appreciate that, Jaden. We'll take care of the wedding, don't worry. But now I think we need to have a little chat with your mother. I hung up the phone and looked really worn out. Elias was doing his best to comfort me, but I was also feeling guilty. He trusted me with the wedding preparations, but somehow my own mom destroyed everything. This was his day too, and now he was losing everything because of me. Elias could sense my frustration and said, Ashley, there is no use thinking about what happened. We can't reverse what is done. But I feel horrible, Elias. This was supposed to be our big day. You trusted me to plan everything, and now I don't even know what to do. Listen to me, Ashley. The wedding is going to happen no matter what. I will marry you, and I won't wait longer than necessary. Elias's words somehow made me even more emotional. I didn't know how we could arrange everything on short notice. My funds were low, and I knew it wouldn't be enough. The only saving grace was the fact that my dress was secure in my closet. Yes, I had checked that too, but a dress won't be enough for a wedding. It was a disaster, and I felt lost. How will we manage everything, Elias? I barely have any money left now. Even your money has gone down the drain. I feel awful. Money's just money, Ashley. You don't have to worry about it. I already wanted to give you a large wedding fund, but you refused. The offer is still on the table. In fact, I will double the budget and help you rearrange everything. Really? You would do that? But I don't want you to lose your money. Honey, I'm not losing anything. I want us to have the wedding of our dreams. I can always earn back the money I spend. I would still have plenty left to not be financially compromised. This wedding is happening, and we will stick to our original plan. We will have the dream wedding and much more. God has presented us with this chance. Let's take it and make the best of it. Guys, this was what my man said to me. I swear on that day, I felt like the most loved woman in the world. Despite everything, I knew that my husband and my brother were on my side. They were willing to go to great lengths to make sure the wedding happened. It brought happy tears to my eyes. I hugged Elias and said, "Thank you so much for saying that, Elias. I don't know what I would do without you. I feel a little better now. Please don't stress out about this. This time around, you will get more help than before. But we still need to address the elephant in the room. We need to talk to your mother. I'm willing to pay for everything, but I have a condition. I don't want your mother at the wedding." "I can't disagree with you, Elias. I don't want my mom at the wedding anymore. If she really did this, she needs to face the consequences of her actions. I'll support your decision and tell her that myself." I really wanted to hear the truth from my mother. I wanted to see how she would react to the news, and I wanted to tell her about our new decision. At the back of my mind, I was still hoping that my mom wasn't the one who did it. I know I'm stupid, but don't worry, I learned my lesson. As soon as I called my mom and she answered, all my hope was gone. She had the most patronizing voice when she said, "So, did you finally get the news? I've been waiting for your call." "It was you, wasn't it, Mom? You were the one who canceled everything. You betrayed me and did the worst thing imaginable right now." "Of course it was me, Ashley. Who else would it be? Do you really think I would have allowed you to proceed with this wedding? Why would you even do that, Mom? Why don't you want me to get married? I just don't understand." "You don't understand, Ashley. Well, did you really expect me to sit idle while you ignored my recommendations and did what you wanted? You didn't do what I said. So now you will have no wedding. Are you that much of a control freak, Mom? You derailed your own daughter's wedding because you didn't get your way. This is not even your day. You should have done what I told you. I always had a vision for your wedding, and you know things always go like I want them to go. You also knew that there were consequences for not listening to me. You simply needed a reminder of that. Too bad you missed getting married because of it. Next time you decide on a date, you better consult me to avoid this from happening again." Years of trauma and hurt poured into my brain. My mom's words gave me horrible flashbacks of my childhood when she had been extremely controlling towards me and Jaden. Her horrible punishments for not doing what she wanted also crowded my mind. I realized that she had gotten to this point because I never stood up to her. Even now that I'm an adult, I fear her and keep her around to avoid upsetting her. But this was going to change. I wasn't going to put up with her horrible behavior anymore. I was going to show her who has the power in my life. I laughed at my mom and said, "Mom, you have to be kidding me right now. Do you really think I will cancel my entire wedding just because you threw a temper tantrum? That won't be happening." "What do you mean, Ashley? I have canceled everything you had planned. You need to start from scratch, and I know you have no money to do that. You will need money from me, which means I will do what I want." "Ah, here's where you are wrong, Mother. I don't need your money or opinion. I do have the means to rearrange the wedding. My fiancé has agreed to double our budget and rearrange everything, but this time you won't be invited." My mom was not expecting that at all. She had expected me to be helpless. She had expected me to cave and do what she wanted. She thought I would give her the reins to my wedding because I had no money to rearrange everything. She was wrong. Even if Elias hadn't offered the money, I wouldn't have given my mom any control over my wedding. I knew that it was time to finally put my foot down. I was never going to forget that she tried to stop my wedding and made me lose a lot of money just because I didn't follow her orders. I didn't want that kind of toxicity in mine or my husband's life, so I was firm on my decision. However, my mom threw an absolute hissy fit when she heard this. She screamed at me, "Have you lost your mind? I deserve to be at your wedding. You have no right to exclude me." "I have every right to exclude you, Mom. You tried to stop my wedding and made Elias and me lose thousands of dollars. What made you think I would invite you? I'm your dear mother, Ashley. I won't allow you to get married without my presence. There is no way you are excluding me from your wedding." "Well, newsflash, Mom. I'm an adult. You have no control over me anymore. I should have cut you off a long time ago, but I stupidly didn't. I'm rectifying my mistake and doing the right thing." "Absolutely not, Ashley. I won't allow a child of mine to be so disrespectful and ungrateful towards me. I will teach you a lesson, just wait. Threats simply won't work on me anymore, Mom. This time I will take precautions and make sure you don't get to interfere in my life. Starting today, you will never be in my life again. You lost that right when you canceled my wedding. Don't bother showing up to my wedding because I will throw you out." Mom started to scream and rage at me on the phone. I had already said what I needed to say and had no interest in listening to her, so I said goodbye and hung up. I also sent her a text informing her that she was disinvited from my wedding and that I was going low contact with her. I wanted to keep proof of the fact that I made my intentions clear. Mom replied with a slew of threats and insults. It was enough to make me anxious, so I showed it to Elias. He was more furious than I had ever seen him before. That's it, Ashley. Your mother is unhinged. You need to be careful. She will do something drastic. Don't worry, Elias. I'll be careful. She's gone absolutely insane, and God knows what she will do. We will have security at the venue we booked, and if she escalates her behavior, I think we should go to the cops for our safety. I agreed with Elias on this. Mom had been making some really messed up threats that could be considered serious. I knew what a monster she could be, so I was already prepared to deal with her. Mom thought that she would get away with what she did because I was scared of her. Well, with my husband and my brother on my side, I had nothing to worry about. I immediately called my brother and told him what went down. He was shocked at how insane Mom could be when she was bad. He also made the decision to go no contact with her for good. The next day, I was being extra careful in the house while I worked. I knew that my crazy mom would show up after Elias left for work, and boy, I was not disappointed. Mom showed up at my house and kept aggressively banging on the door. I checked my security cameras and saw that she really looked like a deranged woman. She was again screaming insults and threats. She kept talking about how she would come into my home and beat the living daylights out of me for being such a disrespectful brat. I went to the door but didn't open it. I told her very clearly that I wouldn't be letting her in. I also told her that I would call the cops on her if she didn't leave. She didn't listen to me and started to get even more aggressive. It felt like my door would come off the hinges. I was actually a little scared at this point. Thankfully, in the middle of her tantrum, the cops arrived. One of my neighbors had called the cops, fearing for my safety. Got to love the neighbors who help in need. The cops came and removed her from my premises. When Elias returned home, we jointly decided to file for a restraining order against my mom. We went to a lawyer the next day and started the proceedings. Thankfully, my account and my neighbor's account made it possible to get a restraining order. My mom did throw a potted plant at my door, so it was easier to get a restraining order. She was also ordered to get a psychological evaluation since her behavior in court was also problematic. Our wedding happened on the day it was supposed to happen. In the last 2 months, Elias and Jaden joined hands to make this possible. We made some really beautiful arrangements, even though it cost quite a bit of money. Elias didn't mind, of course, since he chose everything himself. The day went beautifully, except when my mom showed up and we had to call the cops on her. She's in jail right now, so all is well. They put her in prison for violating the restraining order. I haven't heard from her since that day. I will say that my married life is treating me well. Jaden is also doing good and has landed a better job recently. I'm very proud of him and think that we will all be okay. My toxic mother is out of our lives and I am finally able to breathe in peace again.